Guess who's talking about Topeka? I am, Chris Schultz, of course. Today we're going to be landing the blimp at Warehouse 414 and talking to the owner, Chris Grandmontagne. This episode was brought to you by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens Garden Bistro in downtown Topeka. It all starts right now. It's an extra special episode here today of Talk About Topeka. We've stepped out of Studio 10 and into Warehouse 414. I'm here with Chris Grandmontagne. Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the show and allowing us to bring our show here.
I'm glad you're here.
This is a beautiful place. I mean, if anyone's never been here before, you should just come in and check it out. There's so much stuff to look at. How did you get into the business?
Oh my goodness. John and I have been collectors from way back. And 23 years ago, we quit our good paying jobs and said, hey, let's do what we want to do. And we opened up a little secondhand store or a little vintage furniture store out in the old Highland Crest bowling alley out on Southeast 29th Street.
Oh, wow.
And then we were there until 1993, from 1989 to 1993, and we bought the old Seymour building at Crane and Quincy, and we thought, okay, we're going to go open up our store there. Well, our design business started taking off right about that time, and it blossomed and grew until we couldn't get it. We never got a store open. And about 6 years ago, a friend of ours had told the people that owned this building that they should call John and I because we have some idea of what they could do with the building. Or maybe we had a client that might want it, or who knows what they thought. But John and I finally got with them after much phone calls back and forth. We were busy, we couldn't get here. And John says, I really didn't leave us any bargaining power because we walked through the front door and I went, I have to have this building.
It's really a big, beautiful, easy building to fall in love with. And it's a lot of just creative design that you guys have done.
All the stuff we like.
It's a big playground. This is a big playground for you.
Yes.
I know it is.
Yes.
I mean, you've got just amazing, you walk through the front door and you see the display of furniture, and you see that you refurbish furniture, you do all that? We
do some. Actually, most of it is the way I get it.
That's great.
And then if it needs to have something done, a lot of the sofas really need to be reupholstered. Maybe there are a couple that have been redone, but most of the time they're here for their form and everything, and the customer is going to actually get it reupholstered, or I can help the customer get it reupholstered.
Yeah. How did you find yourself getting into that type of vintage furniture? Yeah.
My mom, I grew up going junking with my mom.
Yeah.
From the time I can remember, we went to the dump, to the Salvation Army, to all those stores, and she actually called it junking. That's what we would get in the car with my aunt and my cousin and buy some bologna and some bread and some bananas and Oreos. And we just had a great old day.
Well, we were talking, some of this furniture is just so regal. I mean, we were walking in, it's like, if you're going to sit down on that couch over there, you're going to feel really special.
John or I, one or the other of us, pick every piece. And I try to, good design is good design, whether it's 100 years old or 5 years old or 2 years old. And I look for good lines, furniture that was really nice furniture to start out with. We're just major recyclers.
Yeah, and we should be. I mean, there's amazing things. You walk in, you even see things that it's like, you know what? My great-grandma had a piece like that. Yeah. And this is in beautiful condition. And why wouldn't someone want to get something that is already still in great shape after being that old?
Right.
That's going to be around a lot longer, so.
And my personal love is mid-century modern furniture. So you'll see a lot of mid-century modern in here because John and I both really like that a lot. But I guess I like all furniture. So then, in all styles. So then I start blending in a little Oriental or Asian furniture with that. And then I've got a little Gothic, and who knows? I just think it all works together. One of my design philosophies is if you love something and you love something else and they really look like they don't have anything common, they already have one thing in common, that you like them both. So.
That's right. The art comes across in everything in here, but everything that you do personally. I mean, all the things you've done for the First Friday Art Walk. You just got an Artie Award from Arts Connect.
Yes.
Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
for all the
Thank
things
you.
that you've been doing. But I mean, so what have you guys been doing with it First Friday?
I just thought it was be fun to show art in a non-traditional gallery setting, to show the art in actually a room setting, so that people could get an idea of what it was going to look like with their furniture.
Yeah.
And then we do have the West Gallery, where it kind of is a traditional gallery, only it's kind of a warehouse gallery. Trying to play that up. It's been very successful. Last First Friday, I think we had at least 1,000 people.
1,000 people to come to a First Friday event. That's a true testament of something that says people are enjoying what you're doing. And I mean, you're onto something. I mean, you really are.
Well, our city is onto something.
Yeah, that's true.
We really have a real boom in our art community, and our people that are recognizing that we have a great art community. And getting out and supporting it.
There's a lot of organizations, a lot of people, a lot of things that just did not exist. You know, you go back 5 years. I mean, really, they weren't even there. 6
years ago, so many different things happened, and there are so many great businesses right now that started 6 years ago, and we started Heartland Visioning 6 years ago, and then Noto came, and then in downtown now is getting revitalized, and it just as I'm so proud of our town right now.
It takes the people coming together, the 1,000 people that come to the Art Walk. It takes them to make it happen.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't mean that you have to come and write a huge check for something.
No.
You just get involved and start your palette somewhere.
Right.
You know?
Right. I encourage all the artists to have a full range of pricing pieces in a lot of price ranges.
That's right.
So that beginning collector can get started collecting art. I do. This is my little time for a commercial. The art is for sale on First Friday.
Yeah. And you should write big checks for the art. If you got the money, share it. You know.
This may not sound like a lot, but for this last show that we had, Spring Fling, we sold over 6 pieces. We sold maybe 7, 8 pieces.
It is a wonderful thing that you guys have tied all this together with what you do with the arts community in Topeka, and you're being recognized for it. And I think you should pat yourself on the
Chris.
back. Yeah, there you go.
I feel like I'm talking to myself. Thanks, Chris.
Well, okay. Since we came on location, I completely forgot to bring my note cards with me for the lightning round. So we're going to do a very abbreviated lightning round. It is going to be a 5-second lightning round in which I ask you this one particular question. Get 5 seconds and go. Chris, what is your favorite home design studio located in downtown Topeka?
Warehouse 414.
And question number 2, what's your favorite show to watch Tuesday nights at 9:30 on my TV?
Talk about Topeka.
There we go. You have it, folks. This is Chris Grandmontagne. Come down and see her and see this amazingly beautiful studio. Thanks for tuning into this episode of TalkAboutTopeka.com. I'm Chris Schultz. If you liked what you saw today, please help our guests spread their message by sharing our videos with your friends. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This episode of Talk About Topeka was brought to you by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, a garden bistro in downtown Topeka. Topeka's #1 salad bar, according to me. Thanks for joining us. Remember, keep talking about Topeka.